Hey y'all, it's Nikki. Austin's rental market moves fast, and if you're a local landlord, keeping up can be tough. Whether you're renting out a property in South Lamar or a duplex in Hyde Park, Turbo Tenant makes it easier. It's a free all-in-one platform to manage your listings, screen tenants, sign leases, and collect rent digitally and legally compliant in Texas. More than 800,000 landlords use it, with a 4.8-star app rated by thousands of renters and landlords. Try it free at turbotenant.com. That's turbotenant.com, your smarter way to manage rentals in Austin. Just off the Texas coast sits a unique beach town marked with salty vibes and sun-soaked memories. Port Aransas is a place where family traditions unfold naturally, and beauty lies both in island views and the unhurried moments between adventures. One visit, and you'll see why generations of Texans have anchored their traditions to the island life. Start your new favorite family tradition in Port Aransas, Texas. Go to visitportaransas.com and plan your visit to Austin's beach. Today on CityCast Austin, y'all, we have been going through it lately here in Central Texas. And while we know Texans are strong, stubborn, and self-reliant, we are also caring, helpful, and passionate about our community. So I'm here with a local therapist to share some strategies and advice on how to process it all. It's Tuesday, July 15th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hey y'all, it's Nikki. Like you, we're grieving the loss of life and looking for ways to help. We always start our episodes with, this is what Austin is talking about. And right now, that's the floods that swept through Central Texas and the Hill Country on July 4th. Today's episode is a conversation with my awesome therapist friend, Julie, who has some advice for how we can all cope with the ongoing flood news. And in moments like this, we're reminded of just how connected we all are and how important it is to show up for each other. And honestly, that's the heart of what CityCast Austin Neighbors, our brand new membership program, is all about. When you become a neighbor, you're helping sustain the local conversations like this one that help us navigate tough moments and stay connected. And if you're in a place to support that work, we'd be honored to have you join us and become a CityCast Austin neighbor. Go to membership.citycast.fm, and it's only $10 a month. Now, we know that a lot of you have already donated to flood relief, and maybe you want to donate a little bit more, or maybe you're like me and it just all feels kind of overwhelming and you don't know where to start. We have a fix for that. We're donating your first month's membership fees to the local flood relief efforts. It's kind of a win-win. Just remember, we are here for you as we navigate life in our city together. Hello, I'm here with therapist Julie Burke of Violet Crown Therapy. I am really excited that you could talk to us today because it's been a rough week. It's been a really rough week.
Yeah, it's an understatement.
So, okay, it's been several days since we first heard the news of the tragic Hill Country flooding. It seems like every day there's a new story of loss, but also these stories of like bravery and heroism and kindness and love. And it feels like it's going to continue for a long, long time. So, like, how should we be thinking about getting through this here in Central Texas when it's just everywhere?
I mean, you're right. Because it's like, and not only that, I've also seen like fake stories of,
Yes.
We found people, but then just kidding, that's actually not true. And so then it's like the like whiplash of like, is this a true story or not? Or like, what do I do with this information?
Yeah.
And I think there's part of it of just like preparing as much as you can, preparing yourself that this isn't going away anytime soon. And I feel like everyone's kind of has this like gut reaction of like, I need to know all the information. I need to do all the help. What can I do?
Yes,
and like taking
yeah.
a step back and being like, people are going to need support for months and we are going to get this information for months.
Yeah. Someone else said that too. Chill out now. Be mindful of how much you intake. And then a month from now, somebody said, set your alarm for a month from now and then check in and see what people need, which I thought was brilliant.
It's so true. Well, because everyone's nervous system is like activated. And so if we're all frazzled, how can you actually like help people or like know what to do if it's just like, I am so overwhelmed. What the hell is happening? Of like, yeah, I love the like monthly check in of like, what resources do people need? What is my bandwidth and capacity? And a month from
Yeah.
now, it might be like, I don't have it. Cool. Let me check in the next month. And that's also
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, exactly. But I have this thing where it's like I get into this place of I owe it to them to read about it and to tell people about it. For whatever reason, it feels like the least I can do in my own shit, right? And there's so many victims, you know, you hear story after story, who they are, like their pictures. We want to remember them. Like, what are some ways that we can honor victims when it feels too much to look at pictures and read stories?
Sure. I think that's going to be, it's such a personal thing for what people have capacity for. I saw something,
Right.
it was like, you know, this child has been found. Please respect the family's privacy because their numbers had been everywhere of like trying to contact them. So it's like, who knows how many, right. So like, who knows how many people have been calling them.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, no.
Right, exactly. And so I think in that, it's like trying to figure out if I am honoring these victims, is it for me or is it for them? Like doing some
Oh,
kind of performative, oh, I want to call you and tell you I'm so sorry. They don't know who the hell you are. Why are you going to do that?
oh my
Um,
God. That is so spot on, Julie. Oh my God. Yes. Holy shit.
right. And it's like, I totally hear you. It's like, you know, ways to honor them. And it might be of just like, well, let me like journal about them if I want to do that, or if I want to
Right.
learn about them or not, or what can I do that maybe is like something that's more playful and childlike to like honor them in that way. I think it's so personal, but I do think it's a matter of trying to figure out who is this for.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. I love that question of is it for you or is it for them? So tragedies seem to have like grief cycles of their own.
Mm-hmm.
And everything seems a little all over the place right now. You know what I mean? Like, okay, let's see. I had looked it up. So we got denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Where do you think we are in the cycle in this one? Like, I feel like everybody is kind of in the depression stage right now because it just feels so like, or maybe anger, between depression and anger.
I think grief is fascinating because it's like it's not linear. And I think there's also an element of like denial of like how could this happen? Did this really happen? And I think like
Oh, yeah.
for I like being in Austin, I don't see the tangible effects of the flood. I see the news, so I
Mm-hmm.
see all of that, but I am not actually seeing the devastation of the hill country. And so I think
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
easier. I think there's like a little, it's like a curious thing of like, I know this is happening, but I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, it's over there.
Exactly. Not that that makes it any less real, but yeah, like, but I think it could be a little bit of depression, a lot of it of anger, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
denial. Like, I think it's all just like mixed in and just so muddled because I think there's also just like an element of shock of like, what the hell is this? Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, and just all of the information.
Yeah. I think anytime something like this happens, it's especially difficult when there are children involved,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it puts a different layer of disbelief. It puts a different layer
Mm-hmm.
of like, I cannot believe this. You know what I mean? Like the children aspect is really, really hard. 39 children were killed in the flood, and one was as young as like 20 months. And so, what's your advice on talking to children about what happened?
I think it depends so much on like the kid and like how they get the information. Like I think it's kind of like following a child's lead. Like if a kid is like hears about it or sees it and asks, I think it's appropriate to respond. If you're like, don't worry about it or everything's fine or I'll always
Mm,
keep you safe or things that like grown-ups say to make kids feel safe. Like you might have the best of intentions that may not always be helpful. But I think
mhm.
trying to keep it like to the facts and direct of just like, you know, there is a lot of rain. and it flooded, and this is how that happened.
Yeah.
I think if kids aren't asking about it, I don't think it's necessary to share with them.
Yeah.
Especially like
Yeah.
we don't need to start anxiety at a young age. Um,
That'll come in time enough. There'll be time for
Exactly.
anxiety.
Exactly.
It's coming regardless.
We don't need to start it too young.
A friend of mine, her daughter lost a classmate. Like a classmate was in a wreck and it was tragic and it was sudden. And she was just like, man, I don't know how to help my kid, process this. And she was just like really beating herself up over it. And she came outside one day and her kid was like writing that kid's name in this really pretty way in chalk, like on the sidewalk. And she was like, look, like I said goodbye or something like that. And then she was like, okay. And
Oh,
she got up and she like,
yes.
and my friend was like, wait, what? That's it? She's like, yep, she's gone now. She's in heaven. And because they are, churchgoers. She's like, she's in heaven. And I said goodbye and blah, blah, blah. And she had just like figured it out in some weird kid way. And I thought, oh man, if adults had like, you know what? I want to honor these victims. I'm just going to write her name down and put some little flowers around it. And then that's it. I'm not calling anybody. I'm not right.
Yeah. Exactly. And things like that. And if it's like, that's a way to honor these people, then by all means, like kids are like brilliant with stuff like that. If we don't think about it, we make it so much more complicated.
Yeah.
But then it's also like with your friend of them, being churchgoers, there's some people that are going to be like, oh, these kids are in heaven. There's other people who don't have those beliefs. And so then it also just depends on what that looks like. Or, there might be kids that ask or adults that are like, well, how could this happen to a 20-month-old? Like, I wish I had an answer, but there's not an answer. And so I think with that, it's also like there's such an importance of, just naming feelings. I feel really sad about this.
Yeah.
It's okay if you feel sad. How are you? And kids might be like, cool, can I go play with chalk?
Yeah.
And knowing like, cool, yep, we're done with this conversation. Please, can I join you?
Yeah.
And like not forcing it.
Yeah. Anytime someone is talking to their kid or child and explaining hard adult stuff, because I don't have any children. And
right.
You know what I mean? I'm surrounded by kids, but none of them are my kids. So anytime I hear an adult talking to a child and explaining hard things, I am dialed in and I'm fascinated because I'm just like, would I say that? How do I say that? How would I say that?
Absolutely. Well, over the weekend, my boyfriend's 7-year-old, we're all in the car and she asks us about the floods and him and I are just silent. And we were just like, and so I was just like, I don't know what to say. Like we're talking about this, but I'm also like, help. This is not expected. And so he was like, how did you hear about that? What do you know? And just kind of like let it be very led by her.
I love that.
And so we both started answering questions and it was like, but it maybe lasted, to me, it felt like it lasted like an hour. Cause I was like, I don't know what the hell to say. You're 7. Why do you know about this? I think she had less than 5 questions though. And so then it was like, okay, cool.
All right.
That's what your brain needed to know. And here we can move on from here.
Yeah. You have all the relevant information. Awesome.
Yeah.
I have a friend named Randy who's got some really cute kids. And like, I've watched her do this thing like, do you have any more questions for me?
Yeah.
And if they say no, she's like, okay, well, if that changes or you think of some more questions, just ask me if you have any more questions. Keep that door open. Like, okay, you might be okay now, but you might get back in your room and be like, wait a minute.
It's so true. And I love that she does that. I'm just like, hey, like you don't have to have more questions right now, but tomorrow, next week, next month, I'm here for anything that you have for me.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by the way that children handle these things.
I mean, along those lines, when my oldest niece was probably like 4, she hugged a grasshopper a little too hard. And so she killed it. And she was like, Daddy, it's not moving. And my brother was like, you killed it. Like the grasshopper is dead. And I was like, holy shit.
No!
Why are you saying that? But then it ended up being such a cool experience because he was like, you can throw it in the grass. And she was like, well, what about the grasshopper's mom and dad? And he was like, they're going to be sad and they're going to be okay. And like, it was just like, and she was like, okay. And like threw it in the grass. And I was like, that was amazing.
Listen, kids are resilient.
Yes.
They are so much more resilient. I feel like that. Like, I think about my niece and how she just, I mean, at this point, she's like 25, but like, there have been so many times when she lost her dog that she'd had forever. And this dog passed away and she like was there. She cried. She had a hard time. And then she was just like, I guess it was time. Like, I was like, what? What do you mean?
It's so true. It's so true. And I feel like with like adults, with kids, it's like we want to say things that like are like feely good statements. It's like, oh, the dog's in a better place. The grasshopper is in grasshopper heaven or things like that. And it's like, I think the better place and things like that are really confusing. Whereas like kids, it's like they want that concrete information. And it's like, we don't have to say like all of the devastating things that have happened. But if we lie to them, they're going to know like, okay, what the hell is Julie saying this for? Nikki, are you sure about that? Or something like that. Like they can pick up on it. Having said that, they don't need every detail, but they don't need these like lofty, feel good responses.
Yeah. Man, kids. They're gonna save us all.
It's so true. It's so true.
Y'all, it's time to leave Austin city limits and visit Bandera. In just a couple of hours, you can be in one of the 7 rural Texas cities selected to host the Smithsonian Institute's traveling exhibit called Crossroads, Change in Rural America. See it through July 26th at the Bandera Middle School Cafeteria. Then, on Friday nights through July 25th, make sure you check out the Riding on Faith 2025 Summer Series Rodeo, a complete Texas rodeo held at Mansfield Park. And even though it's not Austin, there's live music almost every night of the week, from big-name headliners to local honky-tonk favorites. So, plan your trip today. Visit bandera-cowboy-capital.com for more. That's bandera-cowboy-capital.com. Just off the Texas coast sits a unique beach town marked with salty vibes and sun-soaked memories. Port Aransas is a place where family traditions unfold naturally, and beauty lies both in island views and the unhurried moments between adventures. It's a place where multiple generations can get together under one roof to share slow beachfront mornings and cool Gulf breeze evenings. An island escape with 18 miles of shoreline to cast your line, kayak with the kids, or simply cruise the coast in a golf cart. One visit, and you'll see why generations of Texans have anchored their traditions to the island life. Start your new favorite family tradition in Port Aransas, Texas. Go to visitportaransas.com and plan your visit to Austin's beach. Hey Austin, it's Nikki, and I want to invite you to become a CityCast Austin neighbor. Our new membership program is designed for people like you who love Austin and want to see CityCast Austin thrive. We're calling it Neighbors, because neighbors and neighborliness are at the heart of what CityCast is trying to do. Neighbors drop by for a barbecue. Neighbors remind you that tomorrow is recycling day. Neighbors catch you up on the latest crazy way Texas lawmakers are getting in our business. Better neighbors help make better cities, and that's what CityCast Austin is here to do. And when you support CityCast Austin, you allow us to bring you this podcast every day, and you help make this amazing, complex city a better place to live. For just $10 a month, you'll get the satisfaction of supporting our work and benefits that will help the city come alive for you. As a CityCast Austin neighbor, you'll get insider access to member-only events and volunteer meetups, ad-free listening, a weekly roundup of the best things to do in the city, and even the chance to shout out your favorite local nonprofit or business on the show. Plus, when you become a neighbor this week, we'll send you our exclusive CityCast Austin welcome tote as a thank you gift. So let's redefine what it means to be a good neighbor in Austin together. Head to membership.citycast.fm to become a CityCast Austin neighbor today. Hey y'all, I'm back real quickly to get in your ear again about CityCast neighbors. Now, if you're like me, then it feels good for you to be able to talk about what is going on in your backyard with other people going through the same thing. That's one of the reasons why CityCast Austin is important. It provides an outlet for conversations that we all need to be a part of every single day. And our members, aka CityCast Austin neighbors, value that service too. Join them if you do too and become a founding neighbor. It's $10 a month. And because we are right here with y'all, we're donating your first month's membership fees to the Austin Disaster Relief Network. You can become a neighbor right now at membership.citycast.fm. Now, let's get back to my chat with Julie. The biggest thing that I have had a hard time with, there is a lot of talk about fault and blame. And everyone is looking for someone or something to blame, which I get. I think anytime something like this happens, I feel like we need a reason in order to process and understand, like, this terrible thing have A plus B equals C. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I think that's what people are looking for. And I just find it so disheartening. And it's like, these things are going to come out, like, let's let the families figure their stuff out before we start blaming and fault and blah, blah, blah. So, like, how do you have any tips or thoughts on how to help people through that process?
With the blame, it makes me think of like the bargaining phase of grief. I have to I have to understand why this happened, and just a shitty set of circumstances is not the right answer. I have to blame someone. It has to be your fault, which then fuels that anger. So then it's like, again, the cycle of grief. But it's like, I think people, I'm making a generalization, but people like certainty. If I can blame someone, then I can be like, this is your fucking fault and how dare you? Whereas it doesn't, like, and because if it's just like this was avoidable in different capacities, what is going to be learned from that? It's like, how can you also justify like, oh, but how many kids had to die for us to learn to understand that? And so it's like, I think there's this weird, like, I guess it's anger, like covering guilt and all of these other things because it doesn't feel right. And because it sucks. But it's been sad but interesting to read different like meteorologists like statements about this.
Yeah.
And like the guilt they feel, but also like the complexity of meteorology and things like that of just trying to like be as like apolitical but direct.
Like, here are the facts.
Yeah. I'm sure if part of that is to try and like disentangle some of the blame. And I don't think that's going away anytime soon either.
Yeah. I'm a little lazy when it comes to that, like, back and forth debating stuff. I'm going to give up way too soon. I'm going to be like, okay, girl, you're right. That's fine.
Sure.
But I got into this back and forth with a friend about, like, essentially, like, yes, these things are true, but ultimately, who's at fault? Ultimately, and I was just like, I don't think that it works like that in this in this particular instance. I think a lot of things failed. A lot of people failed. And that's it.
Exactly.
I don't know if there is one ultimate person. I don't know why there always has to be one.
Sure.
There has to be a bad guy. One singular bad guy. I don't know what that's about.
Well, it's also, it makes me, this is like a little bit of a tangent, but it makes me think of like cancel culture of if there's one bad person, then we can all just like cancel them and just be like, okay, it's this person's fault. You're canceled.
Yes.
Let's like move on and continue hating them in the process. Whereas like you said, if it's like multiple things that failed, then it's like, okay, well, what do I do with all of this anger? And so it's like, I can't give like 2% here and 3% there. It's like people want that fiery rage to just direct at someone. Not saying that's the right answer, but I think that's what a lot of it is.
That's what it is. Yeah, man. Oh, that's crazy.
Well, and you're making me think there's a resource that I found years ago. It's a wheel of anger, and it's like what anger might be covering up, but it's like disappointment, injustice, sadness, jealousy, all of these things. And so it's like, how much of that anger is actually like feeling devastated by this?
Yeah.
I think anger is also a lot of times easier thing to say than just being like, I'm so sad or I'm so confused or there's so many other big things happening. And it's easier to say, I'm going to be mad at this person.
Yeah, I'm
Then
pissed.
take it. Exactly. Then take in like, oh, damn, I'm feeling really sad and really scared.
Oh my God, that's so accurate. I love that. The wheel of anger. I love that. I love that. I got to tell you, the first time that my therapist was like, yeah, you're really angry, but anger comes from other places. And I was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't. I am furious. Do not tell me.
You don't know me.
You don't know me, woman. And then later I was like, I'm super sad. Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
I always forget in the moment. And then I'm like, oh no, there is something else under here. There's something else under here. Yeah. You know Jaws, but did you know the guy who wrote it worked for LBJ first? He helped shape a presidency, then he unleashed a shark that changed movie history. This Shark Month, the LBJ Presidential Library invites you into the world of Peter Benchley, author of Jaws, Ocean Advocate, and former White House insider. Discover how he went from writing speeches from President Johnson to writing Jaws, the blockbuster that changed the ocean forever. Explore the man behind the shark and his real-life fight to protect the seas. Celebrate Shark Month in style with From the White House to the Deep Ocean. It's more than an exhibit, it's a deep dive into legacy, fear, and redemption. Dare to explore at lbjlibrary.info/Jaws. As y'all may know, I am a night owl, but I also have insomnia. This means lots of times it's hard for me to get to sleep. So when I hear about something that might help me fall asleep faster, I'm all ears. I found out that cooler temperatures facilitate the body's natural drop in core temperature at night, promoting the release of melatonin, and everybody knows that's good for sleep. Enter Cozy Earth's temperature regulating sheets. Right now, you can try these sheets with no risk. You get a 100-night sleep trial and 10-year warranty on all bedding products. That's a full decade of cool, quality sleep. So go to CozyEarth.com and use our code CozyAustin for 40% off best-selling temperature-regulating sheets, apparel, and more. That's CozyEarth.com. Sleep cooler, lounge lighter, and stay cozy. Do you have any favorite techniques for dealing with this kind of grief? Like movements or breathing exercises that you could recommend for Austinites these days?
I mean, for me, movement's a huge one. When there's
Same.
things that happen, I'm like, okay, like I need to move my body. And I'm like, let me go on a walk. Let me go to yoga. Let me even get in a pool and like move around in that capacity. But I think movement is a huge thing of literally to work things through your body. One that can feel selfish is like finding moments of joy. Like if it's even like literally this, like over the weekend, I went and bought flowers from HEB. I was like, I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
buy
love
the
that.
$4 flowers. They last
Thank
the
you very
longest.
much.
They're pretty. Exactly. Thank you. And just having things like that in my apartment of like, I still deserve this and I can feel joy in seeing this and also like so much grief about what's happening.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part is allowing yourself joy, allowing yourself
Mm-hmm.
moments of joy when things are hard, because this just in, things are always hard. Things are crazy right now.
It's so true.
Just for lack of a better way. I mean, everything in the world is crazy. And so just allowing ourselves moments of joy, I can't get behind that enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing that I feel like it's like if my day is bombarded by just like death and war and blah 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 and rights being taken away and this and that and this and that.
Absolutely.
Oh no, I need to do something that is specifically for me, whatever that is.
Exactly. And like that also might be like because you're right, we're bombarded with everything. It might look like I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode or I'm going to turn off notifications for social media or take it off my phone or like spending time with people of like, I want to just be with you and have fun with you. Can we please not talk about these things? I don't have the tolerance or bandwidth for this right now. And like
At
knowing that's
all.
okay. Exactly.
Yeah. So there's a club in Austin called Powder Room.
Mm-hmm.
And Powder Room, have you been yet?
I haven't.
Okay, so it's like speakeasy. So when you go into the Powder Room, they take your phone.
Okay.
They put your phone in a locker, and you get a little like thing around your wrist that has the key to the locker, and you sit down and they take your phone, and you get a 90-minute spot to just chill and hang with your friends at this place without your phone. And the first couple of times we did it, we were all just kind of sitting around looking at each other like, so
Yeah.
like we're supposed to talk, or like we didn't realize how dependent we had become on our phones. And so now I have a friend that when she has dinner parties, she just puts everybody's phone
Yes.
in a little bowl. She's like, I don't want anybody to be away from their kids or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, but like, if we
Sure.
can help it for this first hour, no phones.
I love that. Absolutely.
And it has been great. It has been great. I think we underestimate the power of just turning off.
Most definitely. And it's like, even that, like, I could be like, I don't know, oh, look at this cute picture of my dog, or look at this picture. And then all of a sudden it's like, I get a notification.
Yeah.
People found here, or this person deported there. And it's just like, it's so much to be like, okay, here's more information that I'm receiving.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to definitely be intentional and turn it off, because the phone is always listening.
Truly, it's so true.
It's a lot. And so, okay, when we move through these kind of experiences and we're kind of coming out on the other end, I get fatigue. I don't even know what type of fatigue it is, but it is definitely just like I feel tired emotionally, mentally, physically. And sometimes I feel like I need to sleep for 2 days. How do we kind of handle and muddle through that fatigue or brain fog or whatever that is?
I think you're describing compassion fatigue, where it's like, because it's one of those things, like, as a human with feelings, this shit is hard. It's super hard. And it's like, we're not meant to receive the constant flow of information that we do, even if it's a day of nothing but like the best news in the world, which never happens. But even if it's a day of all good news, like, we aren't meant to get that in like that much information. But I read something once that so we have like 100,000 thoughts a day, or some like really high number, and we're not I don't know if that's the right number, but we're like not consciously aware of it.
You're not far off. 60,000 thoughts a day.
That's a lot. Right. And like, that's so many. And how many are we like not even aware of?
And 90% of them are repetitive.
How much of that is subconscious, but then also how much of that is filtered and fueled by like the information we get, especially whenever there's like community devastation so close to us. And so it's just this like thing of just, as feely humans, we're gonna get depleted. We only have so much tolerance to take that in. And so again, it's like with the notifications that we get, or turn around and there's this other article or something like this. We're holding on to that, whether we realize it or not, or whether we want to or not. So I think it's so much about being boundaried of like, what am I doing that's intentionally or unintentionally fueling this information, this flow of information? Yeah. What can I do? Like move my body, or, be intentional about sleep, or turn my phone off, or fill in the blank of what works for you to try and kind of like, okay, let me have some space for that. Or even like, texting friends, what's something good that's going on?
Ooh, I like that.
A different situation and different circumstance. But a friend and I, they asked recently, per suggestion from someone they're working with, if we could send selfies to each other every day. And like, that's been like a delightful thing of like sitting on my couch of like, oh yeah, I need to reach out to Ryan right now, and I'll take a selfie, send it to them. Right. And it's like, it's delightful of just like, hey, I love you.
I'm stealing that. I am stealing that. I love this.
Totally.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I'm still in that. Done and done. I love that.
It's been so nice. It has been so nice of just like, hey girl, you look cute. I like that. Or like, there was a picture they sent me 2 days ago and I was like, this is a fantastic picture of you. Like, thank you for sending that. And it's cool. I like it a lot.
Oh, I love that. I hope my friends are ready.
Right? Exactly.
We are doing this from now on. We're doing it. Okay, so is there anything else that you want to add that I didn't think to ask about?
I think it's just like a reminder that grief is super personal, but it's also like weird when it's like it's like because we're experiencing both personal and collective grief and trying to make
Yeah.
space for both of those and knowing that if you don't have the bandwidth, it doesn't make you a shitty person. Like it makes you probably better equipped to take care of yourself and then to actually support people because that way it's like, okay, nope, I know what I have. I might have 10% and you need 40. I can't do that. And so that way, if,
Yeah.
you know, when that person or those people need your support, you can actually show up. And just, I think it's really a matter of listening to yourself with that.
Oh, Julie, thank you for coming and chatting with me and talking about this. I'm sure I will talk to you soon.
I hope so. I hope so. Thanks for having me.
Before we go, y'all, just one more reminder about CityCast Austin Neighbors. It's the absolute best way you can support what we're doing here each day. If you value this show, won't you just show us a little bit of love by becoming a neighbor? You can join right now at membership.citycast.fm. That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find links to Violet Crown Therapy in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.